Hello guys, my name is Winston Kohar, and now I will present you about the topsoil loss in the United States. As you can see in the pictures above, topsoil is the top layer, surface layer, or outermost layer of the soil. It is usually 5 to 10 inches thick and carries essential nutrients for plants and vegetation to grow and survive. The reason why topsoil is extremely important for agriculture or farming is because they supply a balance of plant nutrients that are necessary for plant growth. To be more precise, topsoil contains mineral particles, organic matter, water, and air. On top of that, it also acts as a seedbed for development of seeds and rooting system for the crops. This layer of soil is the most important layer, and it is where most plantation activity occurs. It is estimated that 95% of world plants grow on topsoil. As human beings, we depend on plants and animals for consumption, so it is necessary for us to preserve topsoil for sustainable use. Unfortunately, topsoil erosion is becoming more concerning in the United States and around the globe for farmers and consumers. Soil erosion can happen two different ways. Individual particles of the soil can be separated from each other or by the transport of these particles by wind or water. When this process occurs, the soil is no longer useful for plantation. In the United States, the degradation of topsoil is faster than the replenishment. Experts at this study estimate that an inch of topsoil requires around 100 to 500 years to grow, depending on climate, vegetation, and other factors. To make it worse, at least 5 inches of topsoil is required to be considered suitable for crops. The Corn Belt, the largest corn plantation in the region in the United States, has suffered a loss and erosion of more than a third of their topsoil. The Corn Belt is a 1 million kilometer square region and hosts about 32% of worldwide corn production. With that being said, it is important for us to understand the significance of the Corn Belt. The Corn Belt provides food for human and animal lives, and the United States depends heavily on the livestock for human consumption. With more and more topsoil loss every year, the future for the United States economy and welfare is jeopardized. Sadly, this is not a problem exclusive to the United States. The world has approximately lost half of its topsoil in the last 150 years. With the world population expected to be about 9 billion by 2050, topsoil would run out in 60 years. This would mean that the supply of food and livestock will be dependent on hydroponics, a process of plantation that requires no soil. The red area in the left picture shows where Corn Belt region is in the United States, while the middle picture shows what topsoil erosion looks like. The picture on the right shows the difference between a good topsoil and a destroyed topsoil. There are many causes for topsoil erosion, the major one being tilling or tillage. Tilling is an activity or process done by farmers to prepare the soil for yielding crops. This activity is beneficial for farmers when it comes to saving costs. By reducing the need for constant maintenance and better water conservation, tillage is proven to help farmers reduce their variable cost. Though tilling is not harmful by itself, the act of frequently tilling is very destructive to the soil. The process of tilling involves digging, cutting, and plowing the soil. This results in the disruption of soil structures, fracturing the soil and allowing more surface runoff. As a result, the useful content inside the topsoil would be destroyed and not utilizable for the crops. On top of that, nutrients can be easily carried away by water or wind along with the soil, polluting rivers or any water bodies. A study by Journal of Environmental Management has shown that soil erosion would reduce by 70% annually when farmers stop the practice of tilling. However, only a small percentage of farmers use no-tilling practices currently. The next largest contributor to topsoil erosion is deforestation. Deforestation by humans not only deplete wood supply in forests, it is also very harmful for soil. When plants are removed, the cover that they provide beforehand is now gone. This leaves the soil exposed to heavy rainfall or storms. The erosion happens as high contents of water exceeds the capacity of which the soil is able to hold, and the water washes away the useful nutrients for plant growth. On top of that, the strong foundation tree roots provides for the soil are now removed, making them easier to break apart. Besides the removal of plant cover, heavy machinery such as trucks and diggers compacts the soil and effectively breaks them apart. As I have mentioned before, this makes the soil useless for plantation. Maine is 90% forest and is the biggest victim of deforestation in the United States. About 10,000 kilometers square of forest in the United States was cleared in 2019 alone. That is a big number for such a short time. This means that about 10,000 kilometers square of topsoil was lost in the US rainforests alone in just 1 year. Finally, natural reasons for topsoil loss are inevitable. As I have said multiple times previously, water and wind destroys topsoil contents. Heavy rainfalls or wind like rainstorms or tornadoes can cause flooding or the ripping of topsoil. Forest fire, though isn't the main cause for topsoil destruction, is worth mentioning as a reason for topsoil loss. These events, though it might seem out of our control, is heavily related to current climate changes that we are facing. Global warming plays a heavy role when it comes to forest fires and hurricanes. Recently, California went through yet another forest fire, with more than 400 fires recorded just this year. 1,000 acres of land was recorded to have caught fire this year. Just imagine what it did to our beloved topsoil. Hurricanes are also believed to gain its strength with warmer climates, with Hurricane Harvey as an example. It is our job as individuals to help reduce the effects of global warming for a more sustainable future. There are many solutions to reducing the rate of loss in topsoil. The no-till practice of farmers is possible. More and more Corn Belt plantations are aware of the topsoil loss problem and are now reducing or even stopping the tilling or tillage practice entirely. Though the percentage of farmers is minor, it is a start for a better future. There are various ways farmers can implement their farming practices to help conserve and grow topsoil. Few examples are planting cover crops that prevent topsoil to become overflowed with water, and maybe a irrigation system where water is transferred from very wet areas to very dry areas for improved balance of water. These are just some examples when trying to reduce topsoil loss. We can also stop using soil entirely with the hydroponics method. However, this is not an easy problem to fix. The agriculture business is a very large business. It would take time and effort to assist farmers and plantation owners to practice topsoil conservation habits. Aside from that, deforestation is still a heavy burden to ecosystems and soil loss. To sum up everything that has been said so far, topsoil is necessary for the sustainability and durability of life forms on Earth. Topsoil erosion is a big problem and can be potentially disastrous if we neglect it. There are many causes for topsoil erosion, but most of us are not capable of solving it anytime soon. The rate of topsoil replenishment is currently slower than the rate at which topsoil is being destroyed or eroded. It is important for us to raise awareness of this problem for the United States and the rest of the world. However, every problem has a solution. It is time for us to take our time and help reduce global warming as a collective. The prevention of hurricanes and floods would help topsoil loss problem greatly. We live in a time where everything can be done with our fingertips, so why not sign for petitions and movements against deforestation and excessive tilling practices? By signing, we could help to reduce topsoil loss one way or another. It is time for the government to govern rules against soil-destroying habits that farmers have been using. Time to listen to my presentation. Have a nice day.